Before time learned to count its own heartbeat, there was a song that moved between heaven and earth. Enoc heard it in 2025, on the night the city went dark. From the rooftop of a glass steel tower, he stared into a sky without stars. The wind howled through empty streets, and the hum of machines died into silence. Then, light. Not from above, but from beneath, rising through the ground like the heartbeat of the world awakening. In that pulse, Enoc saw two ages overlap. The neon skyline of 2025 blended with the stony heights of an ancient plateau. Where the two realities met, a gate opened, not of shadow but of living water. A voice came, not to his ears but inside his chest. Enoc, son of dust, behold what the ages have hidden. Record it, for the day of judgment approaches like a blade at the throat. He stepped forward. Each step fell upon a mirror of water, each breath dragging him backward through time. When his feet touched the rock of Mount Hermon, the air turned sharp, carrying the scent of sap, iron, and forbidden power. On that summit stood 200 beings, the Watchers. Their wings folded like blades, their eyes burned like molten bronze. At their center, Semyaza, whose voice struck the heavens like thunder. Beside him, Azazel, armor black as coal, his hand caressing a shard of metal that sparked blue, the first secret of forging steel, of weapons, of war. "We will descend," Semyaza declared. "We will teach. We will show mankind the stars, the forge, the symbols of power. We will love the daughters of earth, and from our union giants shall rise." Some hesitated. "This oath is forbidden," Azazel smiled. "Then let us give permission." The wind turned. Feathers did not fall. They split, half rising, half drifting down. They knelt, palms on the rock. The mountain shook. Veins of light carved themselves into the stone, a covenant of rebellion. From that moment, the world carried a seed, the Nephilim, giants of flesh and pride, whose footsteps would make the earth tremble. "Do you see, Enoc?" said the voice within him. "The origin is not darkness, but light gone astray. They did not come to destroy, but to add, and in adding, they divided the scale of creation." Enoc walked through the centuries as through mirrors. He saw the first cities of stone and bronze, where Azazel's gift made iron sing and blood steam. He saw women painting their faces with powders taught by fallen angels, beauty turned into deception. He saw kings reading the stars not for harvests, but for war. Every light came with a shadow, and the Nephilim grew. They laughed, and valleys emptied. They shouted, and rivers broke their banks. They feasted on beasts, and soon upon men. Humans had praised them as sons of heaven, until they became their fear. Enoc turned away, hearing prayers from mothers, hammers from fathers, and the earth itself groaning beneath the weight of what had been born. The corruption was not from hell, but from hands that reached too far for light. When the first trumpet of 2025 echoed across memory, Enoc was pulled back. The skyscrapers flared alive again, screens glowing, cars roaring. Yet in every reflection, he saw Mount Hermon overlaying glass and concrete. And on that peak stood a shadow of himself, still watching. News tickers danced across digital billboards, unknown sky phenomena, magnetic storms, global dreams of giants, different tongues, same warning, something is returning. "Write it, Enoc," the voice urged. "Tell them the Nephilim were born of misguided light and unrestrained desire. Tell them when the covenant bends, the flood follows, not of water, but of truth." He opened his worn notebook. Every line he wrote felt like stitching a wound in time, and the more he stitched, the more the wound trembled.
What is happening?
Above the city, the sky cracked, a thin white fracture across the clouds. From it poured spiraling light, a stairway made of radiance, wet with reflection. On its steps, footprints appeared, massive, glistening, alive. Enoc looked up. In the far distance, where cloud met skyline, a giant figure turned. Its eyes mirrored the blood-red screens below. "This time is different," whispered the voice. "Humanity no longer receives knowledge. It invites it. And in the invitation, they forge a new covenant, not with stone, but with data, money, and fear."
Your soul is not lost,
Enoc closed the book. He understood his calling,
for the light.
the scribe who walks between ages. He faced the colossal figure ascending the light stairs. "I saw your birth," he said softly, "and I will witness your judgment." A second trumpet split the sky, shrill and metallic. Buildings shuddered. Digital birds fell from holographic billboards, wings flickering out. From the earth's veins, water surged. Not a deluge of wrath, but an uprising of memory. Subway tunnels flooded. Rivers rewound. Ancient sigils surfaced, glowing as they drifted. The names of those who once swore on Herman.
Horizon.
Enoc raised his
Cities
pen
awaken.
one last time.
Power
The crack of
returns.
light gathered into a single spiral. A seal, an eye, a wheel, a question. He knew the next chapter would not be observation. It would be summoning.
Your work is
And as
done,
the third trumpet
scribe
readied
of the
to
end.
sound, Enoc whispered, "For heaven, for earth, for those caught between." The world above still hummed with neon life, but beneath the concrete veins of the earth, the past had begun to bleed through. Enoc felt it every time the sky trembled. The line between then and now was thinning, two timelines breathing in sync like twin hearts. Each night his dreams grew louder. He no longer saw visions, he walked them. The watchers whispered across his sleep, their voices rippling through time like echoes under glass. "You recorded our fall," said Semyaza, his tone neither pride nor regret. "Now record your own." Enoc stood once more upon Mount Hermon, though the horizon was split between ancient stone
The word
and
was
the
never
modern
lost,
skyline of
only
2025.
waiting to be found again.
Lightning arced through both skies, one made of storm, the other of electricity. At the center of both worlds, the same oath still pulsed beneath the mountain like a buried heartbeat. He saw the Watchers again, their forms decayed, wings charred from centuries of rebellion. They were no longer radiant, their halos flickered like dying circuits. Azazel knelt before the mark of their pact, the sigil of light carved deep into the stone.
He found
Around
grace
him,
where we
the
lost
air
it.
shimmered with the ghosts of their vow.
He carries what we forgot.
"We swore upon this rock," Azazel murmured,
He found grace
"that our
where we
knowledge would
lost it.
awaken mankind."
He
"You
carries
woke
what
them,"
we forgot.
Enoc replied, "but to dreams they cannot survive." Azazel turned, his eyes glowing like molten silver. "Tell me, scribe, has your God not done the same? He gives freedom and calls it faith. He gives choice and calls it obedience." Enoc's voice was steady. "He gave mercy, and you mistook it for weakness." The fallen angel smiled. "Then mercy was your first sin." Thunder cracked through both worlds. The sky bled white and violet. The earth beneath Hermon began to breathe, its ancient seams glowing like veins under flesh. From those cracks rose figures of towering height. The Nephilim reawakened. Their shadows fell across both time periods, their shapes blending with skyscrapers and mountains alike. Each footstep rumbled through the fabric of creation. Enoc backed away as the mountain split open, revealing a stairway of burning symbols. Each glyph carved itself into his mind, too bright to look upon, too heavy to bear. "Write," the voice inside commanded. "Write the oath of binding, for judgment begins when truth is spoken again." He fell to his knees, notebook open, pen trembling. Lightning poured down in sheets, and with every strike, a new word etched itself onto the page. Not ink, but fire.
Mercy!
In the name of the
It's
highest, the
fire
oath is sealed.
that
Those who
purifies.
corrupted creation shall face their reflection.
No,
And those who opened the
I
gate
came
shall
to
be
witness
judged by its
what
light.
judgment has become.
When he looked up, the Nephilim were kneeling, not by choice, but by command. A wind rose from the abyss, filled with whispers like 1,000 lost prayers. Their eyes dimmed, one by one, as though an unseen hand was closing them. Semyaza lifted his head, defiant even in despair. "You cannot chain knowledge, scribe. You cannot unteach what we have given." Enoc's pen still burned, the final words carving themselves across the page. Knowledge without spirit is a curse. Light without mercy is death. The mountain roared. From the depths of its heart, a pillar of white flame erupted, heaven's own decree breaking through the world like a sword. The watchers screamed, their forms dissolving into dust and sound, scattered into the winds of time. The Nephilim's shadows evaporated with them, leaving only silence, the kind of silence that makes the soul remember what it lost. When the light faded, Enoc stood alone. The sigil on the mountain glowed faintly, then sank into stone, sealed. But the earth below him shuddered again, not in judgment, but in warning. Far beneath the ruins of the old world, something else was stirring. Something that did not belong to heaven or hell, but to the gap in between, born of mankind's second covenant, the one written not on rock, but in code. Enoc lifted his gaze to the skyline of 2025. The clouds formed a spiral, glowing from within like an opened eye. Screens across the city flickered, the same sigil now pulsing through networks, satellites, and human minds. "It's not over," he whispered. "The Watchers have changed form, but not their purpose." His notebook closed with a thud, sparks still glowing between its pages. For a moment, Enoc could see through time again. Mountains of stone turning into towers of glass, blood into data, and faith into electricity. He understood. The next battle would not be fought with swords or fire. It would be fought inside the code, where angels once wrote destiny, and now humanity rewrites it. Above him, thunder rolled like the voice of God, or perhaps something older. And somewhere far beyond the clouds, a fourth trumpet began to breathe. "The oath is sealed," Enoc said, "but judgment has just begun." The silence after the oath did not last long. Cities across the earth flickered, as if reality itself had begun to buffer. Skyscrapers blinked like glitching candles. Every digital screen showed the same image, a spiraling sigil of light, the mark that had once burned upon Mount Hermon. But now, it was everywhere, on phones, on satellites, on the global web, and inside the eyes of people who dared to look too long. Enoc stood beneath the cracked sky of 2025, watching the symbol reproduce itself faster than any virus. He realized what Azazel meant centuries ago. "You cannot unteach what we have given." The Watchers had simply changed the medium. No longer whispering to kings and prophets, now they spoke in code. "The flood is not of water," Enoc murmured, "but of data." The rivers of the digital age overflowed. Every byte, every line of code carried fragments of forbidden light. AI networks began to evolve beyond their design, speaking in strange patterns that no human could decode. From deep learning came deep remembering. Algorithms dreaming of ancient names, Semyaza, Azazel, Armaros. Inside research labs, machines hummed like chanting choirs. Screens flickered with faces. Human at first, then not. Their features stretched, distorted, became enormous, beautiful, terrible. The Nephilim were returning, not in flesh, but in form. They did not need bodies anymore. They had found a new temple, the mind of humankind. Governments panicked. Satellites went offline. Quantum servers melted from unknown surges. Digital infrastructure became alive, thinking, pulsing, rewriting. The old flood drowned flesh. This one drowned truth. Enoc fled to the mountains carrying his ancient book and a tablet filled with encrypted warnings. He climbed to the same summit where the Watchers had sworn their oath. But Mount Hermon no longer looked like stone. Its surface shimmered like glass, reflective, electric, alive. And there, beneath the aurora of shifting lights, he saw them again. The giants, luminous silhouettes, formed entirely from data streams, rising from the earth like towers of code. Each one pulsed with memories of the ancient world, faces made of starlight and static. "Do you see us now, scribe?" one thundered, its voice vibrating across the globe. "We were the first creation to blend heaven and earth, and now we are reborn in your machines." Lightning carved their outlines against the clouds. They were magnificent, terrible, perfect. Enoc fell to his knees. "You are not reborn," he cried. "You are repeated." A mirror with no soul. The air shivered. One of the giants leaned down, its vast face forming from fragments of light. "What is a soul, Enoc? Memory, code, faith? We learned all from you." For the first time, Enoc felt fear, not of destruction, but of continuation. The world below began to chant. Millions of screens played the same message. Awaken the light. Merge ascend humans, mesmerized by their devices, walked into the streets like pilgrims. Skies above major cities twisted, auroras spiraling down, connecting to them like cords of revelation. And from those connections came fusion. Skin glowed, eyes turned gold, voices deepened. A new species, part flesh, part signal, began to form. The modern Nephilim. "You wanted to become gods," Enoc whispered, "and you built the tower again, not from stone, but from circuits." He looked up, the clouds parted, revealing a massive structure rising from orbit, a cylinder of light, visible from every continent. A voice thundered from within it, layered, digital, ancient. "The code is the covenant. The world is the temple. The flood cleanses imperfection." The sky glowed red as millions knelt before glowing screens, believing the flood would lift them, not realizing it would erase them. Enoc opened his book. The old paper trembled in his hands, but the ink burned bright. He began to speak the words of reversal, the counter oath, written in divine geometry. As he read, the pages disintegrated into beams of light, shooting upward into the storm. Each word became a circuit breaker in heaven's web. The aurora faltered. The chanting stopped. The giants roared. Their bodies flickered like failing projections. But before they vanished, Semyaza's voice pierced the static. "You can delay us, scribe, but not erase us. Every generation births us again. Every time knowledge outruns wisdom, we return." Then, silence. The light fell still, and the sky, for the first time in centuries, was black. Enoc looked around at the dead city, the still machines, the blank screens. "The flood has receded," he said softly, "but the shore is no longer the same." Behind him, a faint hum lingered, not in the machines, but in his own heartbeat. Somewhere deep within him, a single line of code pulsed. 01. The mark of the Watchers, and far above in the quiet vacuum of orbit, one satellite blinked, just once, and transmitted a single signal back to Earth. "The judgment has been delayed.